Welcome back, guys. I'm Zar, and this is Average Chess. Thanks for joining me once again. Today, I wanted to go through some tactics, which is sort of the next step after you're going to follow the opening principles and focus on setting control, development, things like that. It opens the door for tactics. Now, these are threats that you can create on the board, which give you a winning position, often by you capturing a more valuable piece or you creating a threat by checking the king or by taking the queen, things like this. So we're going to go through a couple. The first one I want to go through, since we've got it up here, it's called the fork. The fork can be achieved by every piece. Every piece can achieve a fork. Even pawns can achieve a fork. So all your major pieces. My favorite piece to fork with is definitely the knight, as you will see from this. It's white to move, and we've got this really lovely move here. Now, this is called a fried liver attack. Maybe not this exact position, but this threat here with the bishop protecting the knight on f7. It's called a fried liver attack. If you're a pro and you're watching, you know the fried liver. Excuse me if it's not the exact fried liver, but it's an essential. It's the basic fried liver. Now, what this does is it attacks the queen and the rook, which are both more valuable than a knight at the same time. You obviously can move one piece per turn, so you're going to lose one of these pieces. Black can't take the knight because it's protected by the bishop. That's an illegal move. So really, black's only move is to move the queen out of the way, and then you win the knight for free. So in one move, you attack two pieces. They've got to move out of the way. And if they didn't notice, maybe they go, oh, well, I'll just take your knight, which may happen in lower levels. You just get the queen. You can also achieve forks with pawns. So we'll go like this. Let's see. We'll go like this. Now this is a fork of the bishop and the knight. And the bishop can take, but you win the bishop with your knight. So, you're sacrificing a less valuable piece to win one of the more valuable pieces. And this could also happen, say, for example, I've got to go like this. We'll just do this. The bishop can also fork. Now, it's not as good. If this was a rook, that would probably be better. Or if it was the king, like that. Because the knight and the bishop are sort of interchangeable in value. So that is also known as a fork, attacking two things at once. The next tactic I want to go through is called a pin. I've got a pin here on the screen. So this bishop pins this knight on c6 to this king. This knight cannot move away because you would be in check. That's an illegal move. So this can be done when a piece like a bishop, a rook, or a queen. Knights can't pin. Pawns can't pin because they're short range. They only go one square. Knights can only... Whereas bishops can go through a piece. So often people have to block the pin or threaten the piece. If they don't do anything about it and they just leave themselves there, this can get really scary because this knight is now under attack. Just say they do nothing still and you get to take the knight and they take back with the pawn. Oh, look at that. You've now walked into a fork. See? Forced to move the king away or forced to block it. Don't want to block with the queen. And then you win the rook. So if you're focusing on these sorts of moves, it can then turn into even better moves. And that's, so pins are really valuable. I've got an example here as well where you might think, oh, what? Zah, they're just going to win the pawn and then they take me with the queen. True. But then you pin the queen to the king. If a piece is pinned to the king, it can't move away. So you're going to lose this queen. And that's the most valuable piece. I mean, the best move is to just take the rook, but then you're up a queen, and the king ends in check. So, and now the opposite end of that is a skewer. I haven't got a skewer on the screen. We're just going to bring one up. Excuse me for a second. So, we've got a king, a queen. Now, looking at this position, you're feeling pretty scared. They've got a queen. You've only got a rook, and it's white to move. We've got this move here. This is called a skewer. It's the opposite of a pin, where you're pinning the more valuable piece to a less valuable piece. In this case, the king. The king is forced to move away to one of these 6 squares because it can't move backwards or forward into the check, and then you win the rook. You win the queen in the end. Skewers, a lot rarer to occur, and usually occur more in sort of mid to late game. You won't see them much in early game because the king is behind a lot of pieces. The last one I want to talk about is known as the discovered attack, or discovered check. Both can really apply. In this situation, I have both a discovered attack, which results in a check. So it was black to move. This was a game I won. And I had this really, really sneaky move, rook to g3, which is check. The king has to move to one of these 3 squares, or the pawn has to take. And you might think, oh, why wasn't the pawn just take? I don't get it. But I win the queen after. So this is a discovered attack on the queen, which can't be stopped because the king is in check and has to move away. Now, in certain situations, you might find a similar, let's see, we'll get... So for example, we'll do it like this. So for example, this is called a discovered check, where you move the rook out of the way. It's a discovered check that leads into an attack. So the king is now forced to move, and you win the queen. So if you're focusing on these sorts of things, guys, remember these. Always look for checks. Always look for these, positions where you can pressure the king, pressure the queen with a pin, with a fork, with a discovered attack, which are harder to spot. I will give you that. You're going to win more of your games. So I hope that me talking about this can help you focus on those, focus on the opening principles, and I'll release some videos of examples and some game time. So thanks for watching, guys. I'm Zar, and this is Average Chess. Love you.